This episode of Power Up is brought to you by Promo Corner's Page Flip. Not going to in-person trade shows this year and still need to get your catalogs out to those distributors? Upload your digital catalog to Promo Corner's Page Flip. Contact sales at promocorner.com.
Are you ready to power up? Woo! All right. Today we are talking about how you can show up on video and look awesome. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Golden Globes the other night. Now, listen, we saw a little bit of everything, right? We had Jodie Foster wearing her pajamas. We had Jason Sudeikis wearing a hoodie. And then we had the extreme of the red carpet with Cynthia Erivo wearing this lime green Valentino, looking absolutely fabulous. Well, listen, they are stars, right? They're celebrities, so they can get away with wearing whatever the heck they want to wear on camera and just be fine. But for us regular folks, right? How do we show up and shine and really own our square on video? All right, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you today some tips that we can, consider when we go up on video, because let's face it, when we appear on video, right, we are putting our image out there, and our image is really our brand. Isn't that right? Our image is our brand. So you need to own your square every single time you show up for yourself. You are your own brand. So let's maximize your appearance on video. All right. Well, before we, get into this, we really need to take a pledge here, right? We need to say, I know that I'm not going to be 100% happy with the way I look on video. And you've got to be okay with that. Yeah. You got to say, I'm not going to love the way I look on video every single time, right? Because sometimes that can mess with your head. And when you're not confident, you just don't look your best, even if you're wearing your favorite clothes. It's all in the mind. So we have to go on from that statement and say, I'm going to roll anyway. Even though I'm not 100% in love with the way I look, I'm going to roll anyway. Are you ready to do it? Okay, I thought so. So listen, when we talk about showing up, you see me here in these color bars. Now, I love that shirt because I love color. And usually when I show up, I am wearing bright colors because blue is one of my favorite colors, blues and greens. I just love wearing blues and greens. My eyes are blue. I like to pop out of the screen. I like to really, be bold. And so when you show up on camera, you want to be bold, right? You don't want to fade into the background. So you want to wear those brighter colors that are really going to pop. So the blues, the greens, they're certainly fine to wear red. Back in the TV days, it was like, don't wear red because it's going to bleed on camera and everything with the cameras. And that's no longer the case anymore. You can wear any color. Just make sure it works with your skin tone, right? So you can wear the reds and the yellows and the pinks and oranges and bright colors. And you can even wear pastels too, as long as they don't wash you out. And as long as you're not going to become like, all one monochromatic scene, right? Because that's what you don't want to do. It's best to really avoid white and black just because, they don't really pop, right? And sometimes they can wash you out. Another important thing to remember when you go on camera is that you really should stick to the solids, because if you're wearing patterned clothing, it can be very distracting. And another thing that happens a lot is, especially with gentlemen, they're wearing these sport coats or they're wearing these ties and they're finely checked. And I see this happen all the time, even with executives and the corporate execs that I coach. They'll wear these jackets or these ties that are very thinly woven, and it'll literally shimmy like this on screen, and it'll moire, and it'll be like, it'll mess with your mind. So it won't actually, the camera can't pick it up. So it keeps like jiggling and shimmering, and it's super distracting. And it's unfortunate too, because when you show up, you want people to pay attention to you, not your clothing necessarily, right? You want everything to complement one another. So you want to really avoid those crazy patterns and those tightly woven fabrics, because they will work against you. Okay. I love my color bars though. Okay. So when you're dressing for the camera, right? You really want to just feel good about what you're wearing, right? So I want you to think about what is it that you are trying to accomplish when you're going on video, right? Are you trying to be approachable? Do you want to be perceived as professional? Maybe a little casual, right? Are you an executive? Do you need to punch it up? I want you to check your closet. I want you to go in that closet and I want you to pick out your, 5 to 10 favorite items to wear. Do they have a common theme to them? What do you think? What do you gravitate towards, right? We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. It's like, what do you gravitate towards? Because that's what your style is. That's maybe what your colors are, right? So you need to check your closet. You need to go through your closet and you need to say, is it time to purge this? What am I going for? Should this just be a weekend thing and not a camera thing, right? And we're kind of lucky right now with Zoom and with virtual because, most of us just dress from the waist up because no one ever sees, what we're wearing from the waist down unless like the delivery truck comes and we have to get up. But I want you to go inside your closet, right? And I want you to purge all the things that have stains and holes and rips and tears and things that you've just been looking at for a long time saying, why am I holding on to this? Someday this is going to fit. So, you know what? Maybe, but don't wear it on camera because you want to wear things that look good on you and that you feel great in. Because when you can feel great in your clothing, it is going to come across onto the screen and your confidence will just be like off the charts. All right. I'm going in my closet after this. I mean, I constantly purge. I pick out things, but if you saw my closet, it's like greens and reds. And I mean, mine's a little, out there, but I'm a bright colored person. So that's what I like to do. All right. So Kelly Lozier is a stylist, and I contacted her earlier and said, Kelly, I need some tips. So she gave me a couple of tips, right? She said, number one, wear clothing that fits. Now, this sounds obvious, right? But a lot of people wear things that are way too big for them, right? And then it actually makes you look kind of bigger on camera. So you want to kind of wear tailored things because it's going to give you a better look. So, go for that blazer. It will taper you in. It'll be a neater look, right? You got to love your wardrobe, right? So if you don't love it, that's a problem because love equals confidence, what then translates as success on camera. Now, for example, what I'm wearing right here, this is a dress, but I don't actually love the way this dress looks on me head to toe, but I love the way it is from the waist up. So I'm wearing this dress from the waist up. You'll never see me in public wearing this dress, but I'm wearing it on camera because the color is awesome. I like the open collar because I have a shorter neck. So I don't like to wear things that cut me off here. I like to elongate my neck and the way that my face looks. And so I open it up. So that's a little trick that you can do also. Keely says to be intentional, right? Be intentional. Really think about what kind of brand, what kind of message am I putting out there with the way that I dress, right? So choose that color palette and start to curate that wearable wardrobe from there, right? That makes sense. But what you really want to do is up level your look because credibility trumps comfort. Yeah, that's right. I mean, sometimes, we can't be all slouchy on camera. We have to be comfortable on camera, but we can't be wearing, schlumpy clothing because it's not going to translate well when it comes to, showing up and really being confident and owning your look, right? Owning that look. And successful dressing really builds trust because how many times do we see someone that might be underdressed and then you start to wonder, are they professional? Do they really know what they're talking about? What are their credentials? Now, I'm not talking about if you're, Gary V and you're like one of these, influencers that can wear whatever the heck he wants, right? Show up in a hoodie or a ripped t-shirt or, ripped jeans. I'm talking about, when you are building your brand. So these are the things that you're wanting to, keep in mind. Very important things. All right. Another important thing, you want to be able to stand out from the background. Now, you will probably notice that I'm in a different environment today. I'm in a different part of my office. And I love to scout around my office because I get tired of the same old background. I like to investigate. I like to mix it up. You'll notice that I have those yellow tulips behind me, which I love. Now, I'm bright blue and I'm popping from this monotone, monochromatic kind of background. And that's what you want to do too. You see in this picture, I'm wearing a green blouse and I'm in front of a white brick wall. I want to pop out of that wall. I don't want to wear white on white, right? Or tan on white. I want to pop from that background. I want to separate myself from that background. So I'm really going to stand out. So make sure, look at your background and say, am I standing out from this background, right? So you want to be bold. You don't want to blend in. So another way that you can look fabulous on camera is by checking your posture. So right now I am sitting on the edge of my seat. Now I never show up like this, right? That's sort of like a passive, non-engaging kind of way. No, I show up and I fill that screen and I sit on the edge of my chair. And what that does is it makes your back straighter. So if you're getting ready to do an interview or if you're ready to do a presentation, I want you to sit on the edge of that chair because it's going to help your posture. Don't sit all the way back with your back up against the back of the chair because then you will be slouching. So sit up. And also you'll notice that my body is slightly angled. I'm not this, I'm like this, right? My shoulders are at an angle. So that's going to make me look a little bit slimmer, right? And you'll notice that my background, it's not too distracting. It's pretty clutter free. I could probably even get rid of a few other things too. But I decided to keep in my awards that I have back there that I'm proud that I earned over the years for video production. So I want to keep things in my set that will enhance my branding, that might pique someone's curiosity and that add to my credibility. So consider that as well. All right, let's talk about it because everybody wants to look slimmer on camera. Isn't that true? Who doesn't want to look a little bit slimmer on camera? So, all right, I'm going to tell you right now, I have this thing about my face. I'm like, my face is like a little bit wider. And so I'm a little sensitive about it. So I always want to show up and look the best that I can look. So how do I do that? Well, I do that by my camera angle, right? So right now I have this webcam on top of my laptop and it actually can tilt up and down and it can move left and right. Oops, I just activated the light. So I like to have my camera at all times, and now I've messed with it. That's fun, at eye level. You see, my camera's at eye level because that's going to be the most complimentary for me. And what you can do is, even if you have a webcam that tilts down, tilt it down a little bit because you want it to be tilting down a bit because it's going to make you look slimmer. Now, if your camera, also I have a laptop stand that I'm using. So I always put my laptop on the stand and the camera at eye level, slightly tilted down to make me look slimmer and better. And that's what you can do too, right? Because you don't want to have the camera angle down lower because that's going to accentuate this area, right? And this is a sensitive area for a lot of people. It makes them look fuller. Who likes to get shot with their, let's do a photograph from you from below. Oh no, don't ever let that happen. I'm telling you right now, don't let it happen because you won't be happy with the way it came out. That happened to me actually many, many years ago. I was in a commercial and they were shooting from the ground. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if this is going to look good. And sure enough, when it came out, I was like cringy. It was a cringy moment, right? So avoid cringy moments by controlling your camera. Okay. Another thing that you can investigate are filters on Zoom. OMG, filters on Zoom. So you can, of course, touch up your appearance to get rid of all of the fine detail, fine lines perhaps, right? It's kind of like putting that stocking over the lens like they used to do back in the day with a couple of famous journalists who will remain unnamed. But, as you get older and you want to look younger, you can add these filters and you can change the lighting now in Zoom too. You can put some darker filters on. Let's see if I can do this right now. And see, I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second. I'm going to bring myself on here and I'm going to show you, okay, my filter, right? So right now, this is none. Right now, ooh, look at that. That is a lot more contrasty, right? But you can fool around with these settings. And then they even have like fun, weird, you know, black and white, things like this. Okay, this would be like appropriate for me. Ready? Hi, everybody. Are you ready to own your square? I'm having a lot of fun with these filters, but, you know, I don't usually use them because I like to just keep it, you know, I do touch up my appearance. I will tell you that right now. Touching up my appearance makes it softer. But you can play around with these settings and see what works for you, because there are ways to improve your appearance on camera. I have a couple more tips for you, and you might hear my little Bucky mosquito in the background. He's moaning. Aren't our animals lovely? I love our animals. All right. I'm going to talk about looking great on video when it comes to lighting, because lighting is super important. And lighting is one of the best ways, one of the easiest ways that you can control your look on camera. So right now you'll notice that I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm not using any light. I'm using all natural light. I am sitting opposite a window and that light is spilling in on my face and it's evenly lit. And I feel really awesome when my face shows up this way. But listen, what if it was a rainy, like the last couple of days in the Northeast have been just very bad, rainy, dark. In that case, of course, I would bring out my selfie ring light and I would light it up, and I would light it up evenly, because you want to be evenly lit on both sides of your face. You don't want to be, you know, have some kind of weird contrasty angle on your face. So the best light can be a beautiful natural light if you're sitting opposite a window, but never sit behind a window, because of course then that's the backlight. Another thing I see a lot is people will sit under these recessed lights in their house. That creates shadows under your eyes. So you definitely don't ever want to do that, right? And, you know, fluorescent lights are not great either. I mean, they can make you look blue or green, and just, it's very uncomplimentary. So I always use a light on my face at all times, because that's how I can look awesome. Because when the light is not on, all of a sudden you start to see different, you know, characteristics of my face that maybe I don't want to feature, right? I just want to be evenly lit and fresh, right? And another thing is like avoid overexposure, because sometimes you can actually be using lights. Let's see if this works. You could be using lights and they could like overexpose you, right? And it's like, you know, something has gone wrong. So be aware of that, because that's not good. All right. So next thing I want to talk to you about is we cannot end this session without talking about makeup, right? Hey, listen, you got to look in that mirror before you go on video. You absolutely have to look in that mirror. Did you eat food? Do you have food in your teeth? Someone will see that, right? Is your face shiny? Someone will notice that. You got to powder that up, right? You got to look in the mirror. So Mary Kay Duffy Demper of Lime Life has given me some of these great tips for makeup. And she says, well, first of all, of course, brush your hair, right? But she's like, good lighting, you got to have the good lighting, right? Concealer, conceal things like sunspots and blotchy face and foundation that you don't want to show. So of course, wear makeup. And this goes for guys too, right? So for guys, you know, wear that powder, and you can do a little bit of concealer, right? Even that tone up. And then she talks about brightening, you know, the eye area and the center of the face and keeping it, you know, fresh, because less is better. There's nothing worse than someone with shiny lipstick and, you know, just really bold colors. I mean, it just depends on what you're going after. But generally speaking, a neutral eyeliner pencil will brighten the whites of your eyes. And, you know, you don't want to overdraw the attention to your face because it's overly made up. So that is, you know, something that you really have to be aware of. So keep it clean, keep it fresh, look in the mirror. And most of all, Brandon, you have to, you know, be happy with yourself and your appearance and your clothing and what you really want to convey to others. When you get the spirit of your intention of going on camera, that is going to in itself convey confidence, and you are going to look great and you are going to feel great about the message that you are sending to others. So I hope that those tips will help you show up and shine on video.